have the release dates for the 60th anniversary specials. They're going to be dropping next month, but before we even got those broadcast dates for the 60th anniversary, which is going to star David Tennant as the 14th Doctor and Catherine Tate as Donna Noble, we got the announcement via Doctor Who Twitter 2 days beforehand that filming has started on Ncuti Gatwa's second series of Doctor Who, aka Series 15. Here's a video from allegedly the Doctor Who prop store in Cardiff. That is indeed a TARDIS. There we go, away it goes. And then filming starts today. So as of October 23rd, 2023, filming has started on genuinely like 3 production blocks ahead of what we have currently seen. It is absolutely mad because this started filming before we even had the broadcast dates of the 6th anniversary special. This is genuinely TV that we're going to be seeing in early 2025. And yes, that was the 15th Doctor's theme. I think Alex Rooney was right there that this is the studio version of the 15th Doctor's theme. So the better, more professional and polished sound mix than we got for the radio celebration Doctor Who at 60 that we listened to the other week. Does Rusty Dale have a sleep? I don't think he does. If you've read Doctor Who A Writer's Tale, which is the correspondence between him and Benjamin Cook over the production of Series 4 and the 2009 specials, you'll know that he has a pretty self-destructive work ethic. I mean, it results in great TV, but I was hoping he'd kind of like look after himself a bit more, but it seems like he's going to be incredibly busy. But yeah, I think that they had to announce this because we are seeing location filming taking place for what could be the next Christmas special, what is going to be Series 15 of Doctor Who. We do know that they've been filming at Cardiff University today. There were some street signs up making it look like that they were in New York. So it is possible that for the 15th series of Doctor Who, we are going to be spending some time in New York. But yeah, it's kind of wild that we haven't even seen David Tennant as the 14th Doctor yet. And if Ncuti Gatwa is only staying on for 2 seasons, which is possible, he could be regenerating before we've even seen his first episode broadcast, which is absolutely mad. But then, we got some more news here. If you scroll down on... Oh, like I said, there's so much stuff. I should have had this tab ready, I apologise. Then 2 days later, the Doctor Who Twitter account officially dropped the announcement, the news of the broadcast dates. Their time has come. 25th of November. So, Doctor Who returns on the 25th of November to BBC iPlayer in the UK and Disney Plus in the rest of the world. Destiny isn't done with them yet. Doctor Who The Star Beast is coming on the 25th of November to BBC iPlayer in the UK and Disney Plus for the rest of the world. And we've got ourselves a really cool poster there. We've got the 14th Doctor surrounded by the Wrath Warriors, or the Wraith Warriors. Beep the Meep huddling behind him. And there's Donna Noble and also Yasmin Finney as Rose in the background there. And then it was announced that a week later, The Wild Blue Yonder is coming on the 2nd of December to BBC iPlayer and Disney Plus. Farther than ever before. And then a new game begins. Doctor Who The Giggle is coming on November 9th to BBC iPlayer in the UK and Disney Plus for the rest of the world. Here is a poster here with Neil Patrick Harris as now confirmed to be the Celestial Toymaker. This is really frustrating for me because of these dates. It means that I will not be able to watch a single one of these episodes live. I am in studio both weekends that the Star Beast and Wild Blue Yonder drop, and I've got personal commitments on the weekend of The Giggle, so I will not be able to celebrate or watch any of these stories live at broadcast. For the first 2, I'll be in studio until around midnight, so it is very likely that I'll be watching both of these stories with bleary eyes at 1 a.m, which is probably not the ideal way to watch the Doctor Who 60th anniversary. Give us the cat, fine. Come on, Winnie. Celebrating some Docky Who. Oh, here she is. Hey, Winnie. Winnie, are you actually the Star Beast? Are you competing with Beep the Meep for the most adorable Doctor Who mascot? Just Skyve up, who needs a job when you got Doctor... I'll be on the floor. There'll just be me, like, huddled behind a black curtain, like, while all of the action in the studio is happening, me with, like, huddled around my phone at, like, 7 o'clock or whatever time this broadcast happens. Go, Winnie. Fly. Fly away into that Wild Blue Yonder. That's very frustrating, but... You know, we finally have the broadcast dates. Myself and many other Doctor Who content creators can finally start planning stuff. I do actually have the Mondays available, except for the Monday after The Giggle. I might have to push that live stream back to the Tuesday. Either way, though, we'll be able to sort out some guests and maybe have some discussions after the broadcast of these stories for the live stream. So make sure that you are subscribed to keep up to date with all of that stuff. Next up, we got the announcement as well that the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials are available to pre-order on Steelbook, DVD, and Blu-ray. Following the 14th Doctor's TV specials to celebrate Doctor Who's 60th anniversary, all 3 episodes will be available for Doctor Who fans to add to their home entertainment collection in December 2023. The 3-disc release, which includes exclusive additional content, will be available for fans to own on Steelbook, Blu-ray, and DVD from the 11th of December, with pre-orders available today. This is going to be available 2 days after the broadcast of The Giggle. If it's anything like what happened one of the last times that I was involved in terms of getting press copies and stuff for the BBC, they sent me the box set of Red Dwarf X like 2 weeks early, so me and my friends got to watch the finale of that series before Red Dwarf X had even finished broadcasting. So hopefully we don't find a situation here where The Giggle specifically or other 60th anniversary specials wind up leaking. We don't have the box art yet, but I imagine that's going to be coming out soon. It will be one hell of a Giga Chad move on the BBC's part, though, to just have this be the official artwork and keep the not final artwork here at the bottom. You can pre-order this on Zavvi or HMV. I do have affiliate links. I do have discount links and stuff specifically for HMV, but of course you can pre-order it wherever you want. Amazon, Rarewave, HMV, or Zavvi. Here are some of the features that we're going to be getting. Exclusive to the special release, Rachel Talali scene breakdown, director of The Star Beast, Chanya Button scene breakdown, director of The Wild Blue Yonder, and Tom Kingsley scene breakdown, director of The Giggle. Doctor Who Unleashed, the first 3 episodes, Star Beast behind the scene, 14th Doctor reveal. That actually dropped on YouTube as well. The official Doctor Who YouTube channel did upload that segment. David Tennant films The Regeneration. This is behind the scenes stuff from Power of the Doctor. And also we got this interview with Russell T Davies, who was wearing the gay TARDIS pin, which I've got as well. That's from Jamie G, who you can buy from online. I'll tell you what, when I make this into a segment, I'll put a link to the pin store in the description below. Wild Blue Yonder behind the scenes, Giggle behind the scenes, Giggle in Vision commentary, Star Beast in Vision commentary. Chat, when was the last time we got in Vision Doctor Who commentaries? I don't think we got any for the 13th Doctor's era, so that would be a bit of a throwback. David and Catherine's flashbacks, Yasmin Finney introduces Rose Noble, designing the 14th Doctor, set tour with Yasmin Finney, Starbeast behind-the-scenes trailer, Wild Blue Yonder behind-the-scenes trailer, cast introduced the villains in Wild Blue Yonder, behind-the-scenes film with David and Catherine, video diary with David Tennant stand-in, that sounds fun. TARDIS set tour, Series 5 was the last time we had in-vision commentaries, wow, blimey. That's a throwback. TARDIS set tour with David Tennant, Phil Sims, Ruth Madeley introduces Shirley Bigham, Neil Patrick Harris introduces the Toymaker, becoming the Toymaker. Exciting stuff. There is so many features here as well. Just a little cursory look at that list. There seems to be an awful lot here. This is probably worth pre-ordering. Anyway, right, in terms of the future of the show, we did get some more creatives announced for Ncuti Gatwa's first series of Doctor Who. A new series of Doctor Who will feature an episode co-written by the writing duo Kate Herron and Brini Redman, which will air once Ncuti Gatwa takes control of the TARDIS as the 15th Doctor. Both writers have made their mark as creatives. Kate is the executive producer and director of the entirety of Series 1 of the popular Marvel Studios series Loki, as well as directing on the critically acclaimed Sex Education. Brini is an actor, or Bryony, I apologise if I'm mispronouncing that, is an actor, comedian, and a BAFTA Rowcliffe-winning writer whose work includes the Welsh crime comedy Pontbrec with Damien Evans and the award-winning short film Forget Me Not, which screened across film festivals internationally. The pair have collaborated on a range of work together, including their comic The Stalkening, as well as TV and film projects such as the sci-fi Miss Universe and the acclaimed short film Smear. Now, they have teamed up once more to take viewers on an unforgettable adventure in the new series of Doctor Who. That's Bryony there as well. Kate says, clearly I can't get enough of time travel, and it is an absolute honour to write for Russell and Ncuti. We had so much fun and can't wait for you all to see it. Bryony Redmond said, as a big fan of Doctor Who and Russell T Davies, it's been a dream to write on the show. Rusty Davis says, this is when I absolutely love my job. Working with the stellar talents of Kate and Bryony makes my whole world bigger and brighter and a lot more fun. I was a huge fan of Loki and reached out to Kate to say so. She then introduced me to Bryony and it was all systems go. They've written a wonderful script which created unique challenges for cast and crew alike. The end result is gorgeous and thrilling and scary and not like any other episode of Doctor Who. That's exciting stuff. I hope that we're going to be getting more names announced in the coming weeks and months. I do hope that this is not just 8 episodes of Rusty Davis or 9 episodes of Rusty Davis and then 1 episode from these two. It's interesting as well, the connection for Loki, because correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but wasn't Rusty Davis a little bit critical of Loki's representation, LGBT representation specifically. I remember that being in the news a while ago. I've not watched Loki yet, so I don't really know what's going on in terms of the actual contents of the story. I'm way behind on my Marvel Cinematic Universe TV shows specifically. Here we go, yeah. It's a sin. Russell T Davies calls Loki's queerness a feeble gesture. Loki makes one reference to being bisexual once, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's like a pansexual show. So yeah, Russell seemed to actually have some harsh words for Loki. So it's interesting that in the face of that, he brought on one of the creatives behind the first series of Loki. Like I said, I can't corroborate what he said in regards to Loki. I've not watched it or the second series yet. But it'd be interesting as to whether or not that call out resulted in a conversation between those two. And then it's like, okay, now that you don't have Marvel like breathing down your neck, making sure that you don't have this LGBTQ plus representation, want to work on the queerest show in Wales. So that's really interesting to see. But the news keeps coming and it doesn't stop coming, specifically when it comes to Russell T Davies. Imagine ... is a documentary series done by BBC Studios, and Imagine ... is that I'm going to keep calling it that. Returns with Russell T Davies, French and Saunders, Pet Shop Boys, and the opening of Manchester's Aviva Studios. Imagine ... returns to BBC One and the iPlayer with 4 films from BBC Studios. Imagine ... I'm going to keep doing that. Returns to BBC One and iPlayer with 4 films from BBC Studios, profiling leading figures and events that are shaping today's cultural world. The lineup includes comedy double act French and Saunders, prolific screenwriter and Doctor Who showrunner Rusty Davies, plus legendary pop duo Pet Shop Boys. Opening the series will be a special episode, Imagine ... Manchester's New Factory. This is the Aviva Studios that is being built as part of Manchester's International Festival. It has gone massively over budget, but the less said about that, the better. But the most important bit that pertains to us, Imagine ... Russell T Davies, The Doctor and Me, working title, follows one of Britain's most celebrated TV writers as he prepares once again to return as showrunner of Doctor Who. Back in 2005, Davies was responsible for relaunching the action-adventure series after many years away from TV screens. Few could have imagined the phenomenon it became, and now in the programme's 60th anniversary year, he's back with 2 Doctors and bigger ambitions. Imagine ... goes behind the series at Cardiff's Bad Wolf Studios to see the adventures of the time-travelling hero being filmed, touring the enormous sound stages and meeting Ncuti Gatwa, the 15th Doctor, ahead of his eagerly anticipated tenure as the Time Lord after the unexpected regeneration of David Tennant. Doctor Who is one of Russell T Davies' many TV successes, and Imagine ... traces the evolution of his writing from his beginnings at Granada, writing soaps such as Coronation Street, to finding his voice as a queer writer on Channel 4's landmark series Queer as Folk, and to more recent success, including 2021's acclaimed AIDS drama It's a Sin. The film will also feature interviews with David Tennant, Helena Bonham Carter, Ollie Alexander, Sally Wainwright, and Caitlin Moran. I don't think we have broadcast dates for this yet, but this is going to be coming presumably by the end of the year. It would make sense as well if this was maybe after the broadcast of The Giggle, so that we can get some behind-the-scenes information with Ncuti Gatwa, maybe see behind the scenes of David Tennant's upcoming regeneration into Ncuti Gatwa. But the documentaries don't stop. David Tennant to delve into classic Doctor Who for a new documentary. Tennant will go back to the very beginning, except on Unearthly Childhood. I don't have the rights to that. It'll be a BBC 4 documentary delving into classic Doctor Who ahead of the Sci-Fi's 60th anniversary. Talking Doctor Who will see Tennant, who played the 10th Doctor and who is now returning as the 14th Doctor for an upcoming 60th anniversary specials, travel back through the BBC archives to tell the story of the classic hero of Doctor Who. The documentary will also include archive interviews from past Doctors, including the late William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor, through to Sylvester McCoy, who played the 7th Doctor. Tennant will also share some insights into what it's like being the Time Lord and how his experiences compare to his predecessors. The hour-long programme is set to air on Wednesday, the 1st of November. So 2 days' time from this live stream, and tomorrow from when this comes up as a segment. It was recently revealed that much of Doctor Who's classic series will be coming to the BBC iPlayer for the first time. I'm really looking forward to this, including the archive interviews from past Doctors, such as William Hartnell. There aren't many actual interviews that we have in public access to William Hartnell talking about Doctor Who. He did 1 or 2 interviews in the 60s generally. There's an episode of Desert Island Discs. We went over that over the last live stream. We went over William Hartnell's actual voice when he's not playing the Doctor. There was also some behind the scenes from, I think it was the Christmas of 1966 when he was doing a pantomime, doing some theatre that year. So who knows if this is a brand new video interview that has that fans haven't been able to see for the first time. That would be really, really interesting. And also, you folks are right. On the 1st of November, there will be the Doctor Who at 60 celebration concert. We heard it on Radio 2 a few weeks ago, but now we're getting the video version. That is going to be dropping on the 1st of November as well. Basically, November is going to be a very, very busy month. But wait! There's more! Bargain Hunt, set for Doctor Who Special. The fan favourite, produced by BBC Studios, sees two teams of amateur collectors face off against each other to bag the best bargains with these specials, including featuring some extra special hunters. Eric Knowles grabs his scarf and sonic screwdriver to present a special episode marking the 60th anniversary of Britain's best-loved action-adventure show, Doctor Who. After encountering a Dalek and escaping into a TARDIS, he's transported to a Carmathian antiques fair where he meets two teams of die-hard fans, each hoping to exterminate their competitors. Blimey, Bargain Hunt's gotten serious since I last watched it. Their companions for the day are experts Richard Madley and Kate Bliss, both dressed as two well-known doctors, but which team will win the cosmic battle to make the biggest profit at auction? Eric also chats to a superfan with an extraordinary and valuable collection of original Doctor Who props, some of which date back to the show's early days, including alien outfits, Cybermen masks, and of course a dreaded Dalek. It'll be interesting to see if there's any 1960s Dalek mania stuff there. But you can see here, Eric being absolute Chad, dressing up like the 7th Doctor. We've got a 13th Doctor cosplay here. I'm looking forward to this. I do not watch Bargain Hunt. I never in my life have bothered to watch Bargain Hunt, but I will definitely be watching this. By the way, that's an actual original Dalek prop, is it? Yeah, that makes sense. This is a remembrance of the Daleks prop as well. You can tell because of the reflective eye, which was only exclusive to that story. Exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be airing on Doctor Who Day, Thursday the 23rd of November on BBC One. It's amazing that we're not getting an actual broadcast episode on Doctor Who Day, November 23rd, but we are getting the Bargain Hunt special on that Thursday. Brilliant, flawless, no notes, couldn't possibly. I'm calling it right now. Bargain Hunt is going to be Shooty's first appearance, and all he's gonna say is take that, then give Eric a prop and leave. Chat, you know that's my kryptonite. For those of you who don't know, this is Christopher Eccleston's first canonical appearance as the Doctor, and it's from an episode of Blue Peter, when a bunch of kids made a Dalek compost bin.
So much nicer than a boring old compost bin, doesn't it? Yeah, well, it's excellent, so thanks for bringing it in, guys.
Ah, there you are. I've searched for you across time and space. I don't have my sonic screwdriver. What I do have is this. Wow. Take that! Nice work. See you later.
Oh, wow. Shucks, we didn't get his autograph.
The fact that this is Eccleston's first canonical appearance on screen, this predates Rose. Understand that. This predates Rose. Anyway, was that the last time I played? Not counting Big Finish, it's very possible. It's very possible that this was the last thing he recorded for Doctor Who outside of Big Finish. Right. And yes, Evil Dalek, you did show me this. You were the one who exposed this mind virus into my life. Okay, anyway, speaking of mind virus, it's official, Doctor Who fans. From the 1st of November, the Whoniverse will become the official name and dedicated home for all shows within the orbit of Doctor Who, which will live on BBC iPlayer, including a new 6-part series, Tales of the TARDIS. So this dropped like an hour before I went live because the BBC press department decided that I didn't have enough to talk about on this live stream. Half an hour before going live, I should say. Now, I won't click on this link because there's a much more interesting story regarding Tales of the TARDIS. Fans found this because the Doctor Who segment on the BBC website has been adding in terms of what they're doing for the iPlayer rollout. You go in the episodes and you see that we have a bunch of episodes regarding classic Doctor Who stories. The Curse of Fenric, The Time Meddler, The Three Doctors, Vengeance on Varos, The Mind Robber, and Earthshock. What is going on? Here's the official press story. Welcome to the Whoniverse and Tales of the TARDIS. As over 800 episodes of Doctor Who land on BBC iPlayer on the 1st of November, they will all sit in one place, the Whoniverse, closely followed by the first original Whoniverse series. Welcome to the world where you can find every Doctor, every companion, and terrifyingly hundreds of monsters that have appeared in Doctor Who. From the 1st of November, like I said this Wednesday, the Whoniverse will become the official name and dedicated home for all shows within the orbit of Doctor Who, which will live on BBC iPlayer. With over 800 episodes of Doctor Who content already in the back catalogue, the Whoniverse will launch with a brand new logo, and every piece of Doctor Who content will carry a brand new ident, instantly bringing all the Doctor Who worlds together in one place, and it will continually expand. The first exclusive content to land in the Whoniverse will be Tales of the TARDIS, a brand new 6-part series that reunites beloved classic Doctor Who duos as they board a very special TARDIS on a nostalgic voyage through time and space. Right, just picking up on that thread here, a very special TARDIS. Fans saw these images from this BBC Tales of the TARDIS webpage and assumed, kind of rightly, I can see why they jumped to this conclusion, that this was the brand new 15th Doctor TARDIS set. It seems like that's not the case anymore, but for a half an hour, for a shining half an hour, fans thought that we had seen the brand new TARDIS console leaked in the background of these PNG JPEG images from Tales of the TARDIS. That was a wonderful half hour. Anyway, let's move on. Reprising their roles as the Doctor and the companions to go on timey-wimey spins down memory lanes in these unmissable adventures are Maureen O'Brien as Vicky and Peter Purves as Stephen, Fraser Hines as Jamie, Wendy Padbury as Zoe, Katie Manning as Jo, Daniel Anthony as Clyde, Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor, Janet Fielding as Tegan, Colin Baker as the 6th Doctor, Nicola Bryant as Perry, and Sylvester McCoy as the 7th Doctor and Sophie Aldred as Ace. These Doctor Who legends step back into character to reflect on their adventures, and in process they discover something new, leaving viewers with a new insight into the story of each timeless pair. Over 6 parts, each episode of Tales of the TARDIS features a different duo, with brand new scenes woven together with classic episodes to create a feature-length omnibus episode. With new scenes written by showrunner Russell T Davies and previous Doctor Who writers Phil Ford and Pete McTeague, Tales of the TARDIS allows fans to rediscover the stories they love, whilst inviting new viewers to explore the vast mythology of the Doctor. Russell T Davies says, "The word Whoniverse was invented by fans, so it's time to give it official status, and Tales of the TARDIS is one of the greatest delights of my career. To see old Doctors and companions reunited, still fighting the good fight, is a perfect way to celebrate the Doctor's 60th birthday." Dan McGolpin, director of iPlayer and Channels, added, "I'm delighted to welcome Tales of the TARDIS exclusively to BBC iPlayer, the home of Doctor Who, which is consistently one of our most popular programmes every single week of the year. Tales of the TARDIS will sit within the Whoniverse and features brand new and incredibly moving scenes with well-loved characters. It will be a fantastic starting point for a new generation to discover some of the most classic episodes and a joyous way for long-standing fans to catch up with old friends. Tales of the TARDIS is a Bad Wolf and BBC Studios production for BBC iPlayer. Executive produced by Rusty Davis, Jane Tranter, Julie Gardner, Phil Collinson and Joel Collins. It is produced by Scott Handcock, aka Doctor Who's current script editor, former Big Finish script editor, and directed by Joshua M.G. Thomas. The episodes are written by Rusty Davis, Phil Ford and Pete McTeague. Viewers can discover Tales of the TARDIS when the Whoniverse launches on the 1st of November with the extensive back catalogue of Doctor Who. Firstly, let's go through these images. This is wild stuff. So, this is the image that accompanies the release of The Mind Robber. We've got Fraser Hines here and Wendy Padbury around this 13th Doctor TARDIS console in the middle. It's a TARDIS within a TARDIS. That's a wonderful image there. We have the 5th Doctor and Tegan here. This is going to be... What was the story? Sorry. This is for Earthshock. Presumably they couldn't get Adric on account of him being dead. So this is the 3 Doctors here, the 10th anniversary special with William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee. We've got Clyde and Jo Grant here. We actually have some Sarah Jane Adventures appreciation happening here. Then we've got Curse of Fenric with the 7th Doctor Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred as Ace there. And then we've got Vengeance on Varys with the 6th Doctor in a brand new outfit and Nicola Bryant there as Perry. And here is the Time Meddler with Peter Purves and Maureen O'Brien. The fact that they have managed to get a pairing associated with every single story is just a bit of a feat amongst itself. You could not have done this a couple of years ago. I know, like, in terms of, like, lockdown restrictions and, you know, protecting the elderly on set and stuff. So we're very fortunate to be able to have something like this here. This is absolutely wonderful. It's also quite frustrating because I reviewed the Time Meddler a few months ago and it would have been awesome to have included something like this. But yeah, with Maureen O'Brien returning to the role here. She did the season 2 collection set as well. She's also got some Big Finish appearances coming up in the near future. We'll talk about that later. This is absolutely cool. The fact that they have these like interludes, it's kind of like, I never really watched these or appreciated these because these were before my time. The VHS tapes of the classic Doctor Who stories, the ones that were missing, like for example, what was the story, the Crusade. Not that you corrected me, I figured that out. It's like with the Crusade, we went over this in my review of the story, where William Russell, as an aged, older Ian Chesterton, was doing the interlinking narration because it was a lost story. Now, these stories aren't lost. Even The Time Meddler, which is a 60s story, does have all of its episodes. The Mind Robber has all of its episodes as well. But the fact that we are getting an edited omnibus version of these stories, I don't imagine they're going to be losing much material. To my recollection, these are all 4 parts or less. Even the 3 Doctors, I think that's a 4-parter as well. But you'll have this interlinking narration, or these interlinking segments. That's so cool. And the invasion, yes, of course, I think it was Nicholas Courtney who did the interlinking narration for the invasion. I don't have an encyclopedic memory for that corner of Doctor Who, unfortunately, because like I said, it was before my time. The only VHS of Doctor Who I own is this one, The Robots of Death, which is, I've had this for just over a year because I won this at the MCM Comic Con London community show panel. There was a quiz and I won, so I got this VHS. There we go, I've opened it for the first time on camera there. There we go. Thank you to Jack Reeves of the community show for gifting me a VHS, which I have not watched. Anyway, so yeah, the fact that we are now having a evolution of that concept for the quote Whoniverse, which is dropping on Wednesday, is really, really cool. And I think that this may be one of the best ways for newcomers, for new fans to get into the classic series. And accompanying the classic series episodes, which might be a bit inaccessible, which might be a bit difficult to reach younger fans for, to give them these newly filmed in HD at the Bad Wolf Studios segments is, I don't use this word lightly, it's fucking magical. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. This is dropping on Wednesday, and I will be watching everything along with the Bargain Hunt episode. Love that 13th time. Oh, it is! I didn't really see what they were going for there, but yes, it is a campfire. That's really cool. Now, it seems that Doctor Who is a very political show right now, because this evening, they announced the brand new transport secretary of the Tory party. It's this Dalek. I kid, kind of. Dalek surprises British Airways customers at London Heathrow to celebrate 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. British Airways customers were surprised to find a special out-of-this-world guest, a Dalek, while travelling through Heathrow's Terminal 5 on Friday the 27th of October. Much to the surprise of those waiting in the arrivals hall to meet loved ones, one of Doctor Who's fearsome foes was seen keeping a watchful eye over British Airways' arriving customers. The Dalek also mysteriously appeared in departures where confused customers snapped photos of one of the planet's best-known villains checking in for a flight to Skaro, an extraterrestrial destination that isn't normally on British Airways' route network. I didn't see any photos if this happened on the 27th of October. I saw no leaks. I saw nothing for this. The unscheduled arrival of the Dalek in British Airways' home at Heathrow Terminal 5 marked the new partnership between British Airways and BBC Studios to celebrate Doctor Who's 60th anniversary, which includes the launch of a dedicated Doctor Who in-flight entertainment channel available for all the airline's customers travelling on long-haul flights for November 1st. The new channel features 13 acclaimed episodes of the longest-running science fiction television series in the world. Callum Lamming, British Airways Chief Customer Officer, said, "We are really excited to be partnering with BBC's Doctor Who to create a dedicated channel on our in-flight entertainment system, another fantastic British original partnership that we know our customers will love. This year alone, we have doubled the amount of content available on our in-flight entertainment, and we are committed to continue to bring the best out of this world entertainment to the skies." Sarah Bold, Head of Marketing Scripted at BBC Studios, says, Doctor Who has been inspiring and entertaining audiences globally for an incredible 60 years, and we couldn't miss this opportunity to bring 2 iconic British brands together in style to celebrate. Travellers and subscribers will be able to enjoy a curated collection of content, and the tie-in will reach millions of people throughout the partnership. The new Doctor Who in-flight entertainment channel on board British Airways flights to celebrate the 60th anniversary includes 13 episodes from series 1 to 13. Oh my god, please tell me it's Spy 4 Part 2. you know, the story that opens with the plane explosion. That's in poor taste. I apologize, but oh god, can you imagine if that was it, or the ending of the Zygon invasion? Those have to be heavily edited for in-flight entertainment. Iron Man 3, by the way, has the scene with the airplane rescue where Iron Man has to like help the passengers who have fallen out of the plane in this really cool stunt sequence. It's probably one of the best set pieces of like that time of blockbusters. This scene, not on the in-flight version of Iron Man 3. It's not there. I wonder why. Anyway, right. Includes 13 episodes from series 1 to 13. Alongside this, customers can enjoy up to 80 asterisks plus box sets such as And Just Like That Season 2, plus 15 classic franchises including Back to the Future and The Matrix, and 700 pieces of audio including BBC proms, etc, etc. The Meg 2 The Trench, The Haunted Mansion, They're Sending Their Best. Doctor Who returns from November 25th on BBC One and iPlayer. We don't have the list of the 13 episodes, unfortunately. That's a shame. I don't know why we don't have the 13 episodes from the 13 series, but either way, that's really cool. Now, I don't want to spend this portion of the live stream crapping over the Chibnall era of Doctor Who, the 13th Doctor era of Doctor Who, but there is absolutely no way on hell's earth that they would have organised a partnership like this under that regime. They were so adverse to collaborations or brand recognition and stuff during that era that there's absolutely no way that they would have organised something like this. Now, obviously, they don't have to do that for the show. It is not an obligation. But I think that this is one indicator of many that under Bad Wolf, Doctor Who is in very safe hands, and I don't think that there has been a push since 2013, fittingly the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, to make Doctor Who such a big, massive, like, well-known brand across the world, with British Airways, with BBC Radio 2, with Bargain Hunt, everything else that they're doing, Imagine ... for example. Right. So yeah, and there is more to come. The novelisation of the classic adventure The Evil of the Daleks is out today. I say today, this was 4 days ago. My copy arrived. Evil of the Daleks, written by Fraser Hines. You're probably wondering, Mr. TARDIS, what is going on here? There is already a Target novelisation of Evil of the Daleks, and you are absolutely correct. This is from Fraser Hines writing the novel from the perspective of Jamie McCrimmon, much more closely than previous retellings and adaptations of Evil of the Daleks. Basically, for those of you who don't know, that season of Doctor Who, Season 5 of Doctor Who ended with a story called The Wheel in Space, a Cyberman story that isn't very good. It ends with the companion Zoe being sort of recruited by the Doctor and Jamie, the second Doctor and Jamie, played by Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines. She basically stowed away on board and she's rumbled. Basically, if you want to join us, Zoe, you're going to know what you're going to be in for. Next Saturday, we don't have anything in the TV schedule, so we're just going to run a repeat of Evil of the Daleks Part 2, and you're going to watch it. And that canonical rewatching of a Doctor Who episode within the context of a Doctor Who episode is the template for The Evil of the Daleks, written by Fraser Hines. That came out a few days ago, is available with audiobook as well, narrated by Fraser Hines, who has not lost a step as Jamie, if you've been listening to the recent Big Finish box set starring James Robert McCrimmon. I'm really looking forward to giving this a good reading, because, you know, I'm not a big fan of Evil of the Daleks as a story, but I imagine in prose, in writing, it translates really, really well. Fraser Hines has great authority and autonomy of the Jamie character as well. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a read. That came out a couple of days ago and is now available from book retailers, and you can get an audiobook for it as well. We've got BBC's Children in Need in mid to late November. We're expecting some Doctor Who official collaborations there, because it's going to be happening a few days before the broadcast of The Star Beast and before the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who proper. However, the Humble Bundle Company, have got a Doctor Who mega book bundle for 2023. The wonders of the Whoniverse are at the fingertips with this massive bundle of Doctor Who comic collections, tabletop role-playing games, and audio dramas. Take your gaming group on a trip to Gallifrey and beyond with the Doctor Who role-playing game rulebook. Travel to the swinging 60s with 2 different incarnations of the Doctor in the comic collection, Doctor Who, A Tale of Two Time Lords. Return to one of the most captivating settings from the TV show in the audio drama anthology Tales from New Earth. Get all this and more than 30 other Whovian treats and help BBC Children in Need with your purchase. Now, you can pay more than 81 pence to donate to and get a few items, or you can pay £14.26 to get all of the items. Doctor Who 10th Doctor Chronicles Volume 1, 10th Doctor volumes 1 to 7 in like ebook for the comics for the comic books. The 10th Doctor source book. 3 volumes of the 10th Doctor Year 3. Infamy of the Zaros, which is a 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler Big Finish story. Adventures in Time and Space, 10th Doctor Adventures book. 3 volumes of the 10th Doctor Archives Volume 1, Doctor Who Cold Vengeance, which is a 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler and Ice Warrior story. You've got the Swords of Chevalier. So you've got the 12th Doctor Volume 1, 11th Doctor Volume 1, the Diary of River Song Series 2, which has got Alex Kingston, Colin Bacon, Sylvester McCoy. I've actually heard that this one's really good. The 8th Doctor Source book, Doctor Who Aliens and Creatures, the 11th Doctor Adventures book, the 11th Doctor Source book, 9th Doctor Source book, 12th Doctor Source book, Cat's Eye, Unit Shutdown, Damaged Goods, written by Russell T Davies. This is an audiobook adaptation. 2nd Doctor Source book, Ravens of Despair, Medicine Man, 5th Doctor Source book, 1st Doctor, 4th Doctor, 3rd, 6th, 7th, Tale of Two Time Lords, Tales from New Earth, Big Finish, The Einstein Engine, Role-Playing Game Rulebook, Time Traveler's Companion, Defending the Earth, the Unit Source book. So, if you donate £14, you get all of that. There's a £8.12 bundle as well. There's an 81 pence bundle as well for these. Once this live stream is done, I will be paying £15, more or less, and I'll be getting all of these, and all money raised goes to children in need. You can either choose to donate like half to Humble, half to Children in Need, or they've got they've got a thing, so you can so you can say how much they want to. Like extra to charity, custom amount, default donation, etc, etc. So yeah, check out the Doctor Who Mega Bundle for 2023. Have to love how they ignore the 13th material. To be fair, the 13th Doctor material is a lot newer. This stuff is years and years old. These Big Finish stories are like approaching like 7 or 8 years old at least. So, to be fair, I'm not saying that they're trying to do 13th Doctor erasure here. It's the fact that the 13th Doctor stuff is significantly newer. So, as a result, it means that they don't want to discount the newer stuff too much. But yeah, I didn't even know what on earth these source books are. Those comics are old now too. Yeah, 100%. 1 second. 10th Doctor... Let's have a look at this. Doctor Who, 10th Doctor Archive Volume 1. That 10th Doctor Archive Volume 1 came out in 2016. So, yeah, that's like 7 years old. And there's more! There is genuinely more news. We are not done. There was a BFI screening of the upcoming Doctor Who animated release, The Underwater Menace, starring the 2nd Doctor, Jamie, Ben, and Polly. This comes out in a couple of weeks from Home Media. I've got my Steelbook pre-ordered. I'll do an unboxing when that happens. However, during that, there is the customary Q&A session that happens after the broadcast, after the screening at the BFI. And from this, we got the future of the Doctor Who Missing Stories animation range. We heard that it was going to be coming to an end, and then The Underwater Menace was announced, and then hope was restored. Let's dive in a bit deeper. This is for the Radio Times reporting on the story. Plans are afoot for more animated revamps of missing episodes following the release of The Underwater Menace. Speaking at a BFI screening of the latest animation, The Underwater Menace, executive producer Paul Hembury confirmed there are plans for more, indicating that the ambition is to complete the canon and cover off all the missing stories. Quote, "As long as there's an audience out there who want to see them, then we will endeavour to continue." However, he cautioned, the DVD and Blu-ray market isn't getting any bigger, and it was a significant contributor to the financing that we used to make these. So it's really incumbent upon us to say, okay, if we're going to be seeing less revenue from that source, we need to be able to replace it. And more, because our budgets have gone up pretty significantly. So we just need to be able to make it balance out. Despite confirming that at least one more animation is in the works, Hembury wouldn't be drawn on which story was the next on the slate, despite rumours that 1966 serial The Smugglers would be on the offing. I would like to be able to say yes. I can't at this stage. We don't have a 5-10 year plan to work through. We do them one at a time. In all, I don't know whether we'll ever get to a situation where we've done every one, but there is something coming. Hembury and the Underwater Menace animation director, Anne-Marie Walsh, did however touch on how they decide which lost stories to animate, explaining that the selection process is quite complicated, with the length of the story, the quality of the surviving audio, the animated challenges posed by the story all being taken into account. Of the 14 stories to be animated since 2006, 11 have been stories featuring Troughton's 2nd Doctor, though Hembury and Walsh hinted that fans can expect more restorations featuring William Hartnell as the first in the future. If we can keep going, then we'll be able to be a little more diverse in terms of the stories we select, said Hembury. We weren't necessarily trying to complete the Troughton series, but it made sense to do that as long as the sound was good enough and the stories made sense within the budgets we had and everything else. But that doesn't mean we're only going to do Troughton stories, or we're going to do all the Troughton stories first. We are open to whatever makes sense. Doctor Who The Underwater Menace is available on DVD and Blu-ray from the 13th of November. So yeah, this is exciting and promising news. Bolstered by The Mirror, there's no online article, so you have to use Press Reader to find the actual print story. Look Who's Coming Back. This was reported on the 25th of October. Doctor Who fans can expect plenty of fun and games in the next animation thanks to the Celestial Toymaker. The character will appear in the hit BBC show this autumn after being brought back by Russell T Davies for the final special marking the show's 60th anniversary. Neil Patrick Harris will play the immortal being who exists only to play games and cause havoc in others' lives, but the Celestial Toymaker, a William Hartnell story from 1966, will also be brought back to life in cartoon form after the master tapes were wiped years ago. Batman star Michael Gough originally starred as the villain alongside LOLO, Carmen Silvera, and former Blue Peter star Peter Purvis. But only part 4 of the story still exists in the BBC archives after a copy was returned from Australia in February 1984. An insider said, for many fans, the Celestial Toymaker is one of the greatest Doctor Who stories ever. The word many here, doing a lot of heavy lifting. We don't have official confirmation yet. That is the rumour. This was a story co-written by Nicola Medvin, who seems to be pretty on the money when it comes to Doctor Who scoops over the past year and a half. So, when it comes to the Celestial Toymaker, I think that it makes sense that there'll be the value of that character from the 60th anniversary special. As they outlined in that BFI screening, there is, of course, a profit incentive. So having this character just be broadcast in a 60th anniversary story, played by Neil Patrick Harris, a big-name actor. Oh, by the way, you enjoyed The Giggle? It would not surprise me if at the end of the credits for The Giggle, they announce, here's an animated story that features this character from the 1966 story. Pre-order it now. It would not surprise me if that was the case. If that is the case, I don't think it will be here in time for Christmas. If it was going to be a pre-Christmas release, we probably would have information about that by now. Not to mention The Underwater Menace in November, then Celestial Toymaker in December. A little bit close in terms of the release dates. However, I think that that's what they're going to do if it is the Celestial Toymaker. And then, once they've got fans on board with animated reconstructions through that easy in with the Celestial Toymaker, then maybe they can do stories like The Smugglers. They can do stories like Dalek's Master Plan, like Wheel in Space. Maybe Marco Polo, fingers crossed. If it isn't Dino Puff animating it, not interested. If they get Dino Puff star, then that'd be amazing, though, if it's like the Web of Fear, no. Yeah, so Dino Puff has already sort of set fan expectations pretty high with his animated reconstruction. Dino Puff already did a pretty outstanding job with his animated reconstruction. We had an interview with him for the review of the Celestial Toymaker a few months back for that review. So yeah, you set expectations pretty high. Also, this is an amazing shot, by the way. This one. Handover and the TARDISes are in the background. That's so cool. The original version of the Celestial Toymaker just had the TARDISes on a bunch of conveyor belts, like one conveyor belt with 3 or 4 TARDIS props on it, and that was how we could demonstrate it. But Dino Puff has taken some incredible creative liberty here with just this POV shot. Basically, this is something that you don't traditionally get with Doctor Who animated reconstructions, so Dino Puff has maybe frustrated the BBC by raising the bar to such an extent. So we'll see if that happens, what the animation style could be with the Celestial Toymaker, but my best guess right now, unless it leaks beforehand, is that the Giggle will broadcast, the end credits will say pre-order the story now on DVD, Blu-ray, Steelbook, etc. That's my best guess. And if that wasn't enough, let's pick up on that little thread that I mentioned earlier about Maureen O'Brien returning to the role of Vicky for the Tales in the TARDIS set. Now, Maureen O'Brien played Vicky, who was like the successor to Susan in the classic series, the Doctor's granddaughter. For all intents and purposes, I think that Vicky is a much more fun and interesting character than Susan was, mainly because she just got a lot more fun things to do. Hartnell was really hitting his stride as the Doctor in that second season, and he was just a much nicer and warmer character, so he was able to be that grandfatherly figure to Vicky way more than he was to Susan, ironically. However, the conclusion of Vicky's story in the classic series, she was dropped off in ancient Greece at the end of the events of the Mythmakers. She escaped the fall of Troy with her new beau, Troilus, and they presumably had a lovely life together, as outlined in season 2 of the collection box at her bay, if you will. Yes, she found a Trojan bay, and we find her in the season 2 collection trailer. She has become a grandmother herself, and has become a grandparent herself, and is telling stories of the Doctor's adventures. Big Finish have announced that Stephen Noonan, as the first Doctor, will be reuniting with an older Vicky, played once again by Maureen O'Brien. A familiar voice returns to Doctor Who in the forthcoming 6-part full-cast audio adventure Fugitive of the Daleks, due for release in January 2024 from Big Finish Productions. Much-loved Doctor Who actor Maureen O'Brien steps back on board the TARDIS alongside the First Doctor, played by the acclaimed Stephen Noonan, in a brand new First Doctor Adventures audio drama by veteran Big Finish writer Jonathan Morris. As many fans will know, Vicky, played by I've already done this story. Ha! In Fugitive of the Daleks, things are a little different. Up to now, I've always played Vicky at the age of 15, says Maureen, which was the age she was when she first met the Doctor, so to be playing Vicky as the age I am now is very refreshing. Doctor Who, The First Doctor Adventures, Fugitive of the Daleks is available now to pre-order for just $22.99, Collector's Edition CD box set and download, or $18.99 download only, exclusively here. Director and script editor Nicholas Briggs, who also voices the Daleks in this box set, explains, minor spoilers for the ending of the last First Doctor Adventures box set, The Inchiton Incident. The Doctor suddenly disappeared, and this has some bearing on how he now finds himself travelling with an older version of Vicky. This is, of course, Maureen's first encounter with the Big Finish recast First Doctor Stephen Noonan. Oh, he's fantastic, she enthused. We're fellow Liverpudlians, so we have a lot in common. He is doing an extraordinary job as William Hartnell's Doctor. It's an incredible challenge, but he's incredibly meticulous and he is getting it right. He's got the rhythm of William Hartnell, which I think is always the most important thing about how someone speaks. It's really a fantastic portrayal. Wait, Maureen was only 15? No, she, much like Susan and characters like Victoria, classic companions in the 60s. They were actresses in their 20s, but they were playing significantly younger. Like Victoria was meant to be 15 as well when they first meet her at the beginning of Evil of the Daleks. Vicky is meant to be 15 years old. She was born in 1943. She would have been 22 21, 22 when she played the role of Vicky, but she's meant to be like 15 years old in the show, although it's never officially confirmed. Fugitive of the Daleks takes the TARDIS team on a whirlwind tour of space and time, plunging them into many life-threatening situations with the Doctor's arch-enemies never far away. There's a lot for the older Vicky to cope with, added Nicholas Briggs, but she embraces every challenge with gusto. This is an exciting and emotional journey for her as she plunges back into the fray with renewed vigour. So yeah, this is coming out. Fugitive of the Daleks is coming out in January 2023, written by Jonathan Morris, directed by Nicholas Briggs, and starring Stephen Noonan and Maureen O'Brien. I'm looking forward to this. I've really been enjoying the First Doctor Adventures under Stephen Noonan. I think he's great in the role. I think that The Outlaws is such a fun historical romp, like in the vein of the Time Meddler and the Romans. And of course, I really enjoyed the Demon Song. The only thing I'm a bit hesitant moving forward is the lack of Dodo, is the lack of Lauren Cornelius, because it seems like that these adventures that are going to be following the First Doctor after the events of the Inchiton Incident, which is the second story in the Demon Song, is going to be Dodo-less, which is a shame, because I think that Lauren Cornelius has done an awful lot of like good for reclaiming that character, for making that character appealing and interesting and work with fans in like the modern era after the short straws that Jackie Lane was dealt in the 1960s. And of course, Dodo's treatment in the Expanded Universe material. Is Dodo's actually still alive? No, she passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. Jackie Lane passed away a few years ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all of that. But there's also some more Big Finish news to come. Rani's cover is blown. Cover artwork and story details are revealed for the forthcoming full-cast audio box set drama Rani Takes on the World from Big Finish production, The Revenge of Wormwood. Samantha Bond is reprising the role of Wormwood from Series 1 and Series 2 of... Or was it Series 1? Series 1 of the Sarah Jane Adventures. We've got Tommy Knight as Luke as well, Daniel Anthony as Clyde, Anjali Mahindra as Rani Chandra as well. We also saw Daniel Anthony as Clyde reuniting with Katie Manning's Jo Jones for the Three Doctors Tales from the TARDIS. How they found out she was a Scorpion from the Nikola Tesla labs. Unironically though, Anjali Mahindra was so good in Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. She was so good as the Skithra Queen. Unironic camp icon. Anyway, this comes out another January 2024 release. Rani Takes on the World, The Revenge of Wormwood. The cover drops there. We've also got the cover drop for the upcoming Fourth Doctor box set, which comes out in March 2024. Storm of the Sea Devils, which is Series 13 Part 1, which sees Eleanor Crooks and Christopher Naylor as Naomi and Harry Sullivan, respectively. And this is a Sea Devils story as well. Storm of the Sea Devils features the return of the Doctor's nautical nemesis, who first encountered him on screen during his third incarnation in 1972. They appear in the 4-part titular story of the set, along the 2-part Worlds Beyond. So Storm of the Sea Devils by David K. Barnes and Worlds Beyond by Robert McCann and Tom Salinsky. Exciting stuff. This comes out in March 2024. And also, we were talking about Sylvester McCoy being in the Tales of the TARDIS set for the Curse of Fenric with Sophie Aldred as Ace. He's just celebrated his 80th birthday, and he is doing that upcoming memoir documentary movie that is coming out soon as well. But it seems that he might be retiring from Big Finish Productions as the 7th Doctor. We've got casting detail announcements for Doctor Who, The 7th Doctor Adventures, The Last Day, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 comes out in December 2023, and Day 2 comes out in June 2024. There is always injustice to fight. There is always a new danger for the universe. But what if the Doctor found a way to put things right once and for all? Would it really be so terrible to take a stand? Would the end justify the means? And would his friends agree? The 7th Doctor's last day is coming. We've got some behind-the-scenes photos and images with the casting. We've got Sophie Aldred, Bonnie Langford, Lisa Bowerman, Edward Peel, etc., etc. Co-writer Matt Fitton added, the whole story of The Last Day is the natural progression of the 7th Doctor's journey. As he gets older, he just sees there's so much to fix, there's so much to do, so much danger to fight. He's begun to wonder, is there a way to just get everything right once and for all so he can rest and sit back? A way to be certain I've done my job? So The Last Day is about him trying to reach that position. AKA, Sylvester McCoy might be going Time Lord victorious. We got the cast here. Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred, Bonnie Langford, Jeffrey Beavers as the Master, Lisa Bowerman as Bernie Summerfield, Maggie O'Neill, Philip Oliver, Edward Peel as Kane, aka the bad guy from Dragonfire, what? Amy Pemberton and Dan Starkey will be playing the Sontarans in Last Day Part 1. Last Day Part 2, more or less the same cast, few extra names, Travis Oliver there, I don't think he was there before. But yeah, you can comb through all of those. These were recorded in the summer of 2023. It seems that maybe, if this is to be taken literally, Sylvester McCoy, after playing the 7th Doctor for Big Finish Productions for, by the time it gets to this, will be 25 years, will be retiring from the role, potentially. There's also 7th Doctor Adventures for 2024 Part 2, November 2024. This could be The Last Day Part 3. If it was, maybe it would make sense for them to promote it as such, as a trilogy of stories for the next, 12 months of the 7th Doctor. But maybe this will be, the coda, the epilogue to The Last Day. The events that see the 7th Doctor go to Gallifrey to pick up the remains of the executed Master. Or no, he goes to Skaro to pick them up, and then he's going to take them to Gallifrey, isn't he? Half victorious. Is that in reference to his height? Very fitting, because we do have Sontarans here. But yeah, of course, it's a shame that we wouldn't be getting any more Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor if this is the case. But, 25 years playing this role. He had 3 seasons on TV, plus he had that appearance in the TV movie. He doesn't really have much more to prove. He doesn't really need to cement his legacy as the 7th Doctor anymore. It'll be bittersweet, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. Really am. It would be a bit of a shame as well, because I feel like that the Sullivan and Cross series was really just sort of finding its footing by the time we got to Far From Home. But maybe that will be part of it here. Maybe that will be the culmination. But starting from Silver and Ice, there has been a concerted effort to set up some of the loose ends that see the end of the 7th Doctor, because this box set here with the 7th Doctor and Mel, which is season 24 territory, does start to move his trajectory as a character towards the Andrew Cartmel schema, and Mel picks up on that. So maybe he's not leaving. He's 80 years old. To be fair, he might be sick of it. I'm not saying he doesn't love being the Doctor and he doesn't love the playing the role or anything, but when you've been playing a role for 25 years in audio, and that doesn't even count a movie and 3 seasons of TV, plus dimensions in time, search out space, etc. Maybe. Is there any evidence? No, we're just talking speculative. This is speculation. We don't know if he is retiring, but it would make sense. He is 80. He is doing a memoir movie. He is maybe wanting to retire. That's the end of my list in terms of all of the news stories. We've been talking for an hour. Blimey. There's so much stuff there. Chat, Did I forget anything? Did I miss anything? Disney Plus mail leak? Okay, people keep asking about it. Cool. So this is a reposting of the trailer from Rotten Tomatoes. I won't play the full thing because that's definitely copyrighted. It's very similar to the trailers that we've seen before. The longest running sci-fi series in the universe has landed here, and here's the Disney Plus ident, which will never not look weird. Original specials. It reminds me of that meme, you know, of those two cartoon characters. One of them hands the other something and says, I made this. You made this? And then the other character walks away while the other one's still holding something and goes, I made this. You know, it is like that meme. You didn't make these specials, Disney. What are you on about? The footage is very similar, except there's one or two bits here. Now, this is the freeze frame that has caused all of the speculation. This is the Celestial Toymaker running in what could be unit headquarters through all of these rose petals. Very American Beauty. And in the background is this blurry ginger figure here, which we are presuming is Mel. This was the promotional image when Bonnie Langford was officially announced to be returning as Mel. This looks like the unit helipad that we see in the 60th anniversary specials in the trailer. And it does look like she's wearing the exact same jacket. It looks like that Mel is going to be in the 60th anniversary specials. And then she's also returning for Ncuti Gatwa's filming, because we saw her with Ncuti Gatwa's stuntman on that bike in the filming in Cardiff. So it looks like she is going to be a member of UNIT formally, that she's going to be working for UNIT, and she's here on the helipad. She is there when the Celestial Toymaker invades. Kate is wearing the same armband. Oh, has that been observed? Yeah, there's this armband here. Nice observation there. Nice observation, Soul Pinto V. She is also wearing the same... One second, let me just get rid of my webcam. She is wearing the same wristband here. BBC Sounds missing episodes. Oh, one second. Oh my god, the news doesn't stop. We also got this story as well. Missing Doctor Who episodes resurrected on BBC Sounds. The saga is almost complete. A selection of missing Doctor Who episodes from the classic era will be brought back to life on BBC Sounds as part of the show's 60th anniversary celebrations. The BBC has announced that 3 adventures starring the first and second Doctors, played by William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton respectively, will be available to revisit soon. A number of episodes from the first 6 seasons, already been lost, blah, blah, blah. A notice on the BBC Sounds website reads, sadly not all of Doctor Who's earliest years survive in the BBC archive. Many have been lost seemingly forever. But thanks to the ingenuity of the fans, sound recordings of these missing episodes survived and were returned to the BBC. Combined with narration from the stars of Doctor Who, here's a chance to listen to 3 adventures starring the first 2 Doctors. The episodes which have not been specified are expected to launch on Wednesday the 1st of November, along with the Doctor Who archive on iPlayer. Radio Times has reached out for clarification. So I'm imagining that this is just like 3 of the BBC audio books. Like, for example, the Mythmakers had a narration from Maureen O'Brien. Celestial Toymaker, I think, had one narrated by Peter Purvis. I could be getting my names mixed up, but either way, Missing Stories have got like BBC radio recreations that you can listen to. Evil of the Daleks, when I did my Daleksember review, I listened to the audio BBC radio collection, which was narrated by Fraser Hines. I imagine it's just those being re-uploaded. I don't think they'll have anything newly commissioned for this. It'll be exciting if so, but I don't think they will. Do you think we'll get a Doctor Who hub on Disney Plus if they eventually want to bring more classics and revival episodes? I think a hub. If they bring the classic series and the other episodes of the revival, they will probably need a dedicated hub just for that much content. But it looks like that that Disney Plus is not getting series 1 to 12 when the episodes drop. Here we go. Here's the story from Inverse. Doctor Who has a Disney Plus release date, but there's a disappointing catch. You'll have to travel services if you want to travel through time. While the new specials will premiere on Disney Plus, the new home of the franchise, it will only feature the new episodes. Inverse confirmed with Disney that Disney Plus will be the home of Doctor Who starting from the specials and beyond, so you won't see any of seasons 1 to 13 there. If you want to watch New Who, the series starting from series 1 in 2005 all the way up to the last episode that was produced, it's all available to stream on Max. However, even this isn't the complete run of the show. Classic Who, the 800 plus episodes that date all the way back to 1963, are available on BritBox. The show has 3 distinct streamers for 3 distinct eras. It may be confusing, but that's just part of the Doctor Who experience. So yeah, it seems like at least when it comes to this year, Disney Plus is not getting a back catalogue of Doctor Who, which is disappointing, but when you're dealing with different streaming rights that will have pre-existing deals with pre-existing expiration dates before the whole Whoniverse branding, it makes sense that some rights are with BritBox, some rights are with HBO, who do Max, with Warner Brothers, etc., etc. Maybe when we get to Series 14 proper with Ncuti Gatwa in like the spring, summer of 2024, those may have lifted, those contracts may expire, but for now it looks like Disney Plus is just going to be the home of brand new Doctor Who, which will be a bit disappointing for international viewers, for those who are outside of the UK and Ireland. But, you know, it's just pre-existing rights, I imagine. Once Max loses access, loses the rights to stream Doctor Who, I imagine Disney will snap them right up. The proms are back? What? Yeah, so this is from the Cyberdevil on Twitter, who you should definitely follow. Now live on iPlayer, 3 performances of Doctor Who The Proms from 2008, 2010, and 2013. Nice. Along with the Science of Doctor Who with Brian Cox. I got a notification, because I've got BBC iPlayer on my phone, I got a notification on my phone that this dropped. Like, it was of, like, breaking news status, apparently, according to the BBC. The new spin-off? What, Class Series 2? Could it be? Has it happened? By the way, I've had like nearly 1,500 subscribers join me over the past month. If you are one of them, hi. One video I highly, highly recommend you watch of mine is my feature-length breakdown of the spin-off series Class. Seriously, I'm so proud of how it turned out. I'm really happy with the video. It's 85 minutes long. What are you doing watching the top 50 Doctor Who scenes, all 137,000 of you? Thank you so much, by the way. Massively appreciate it. And why aren't you watching my Class retrospective? Like I said, so much of this dropped within the past couple of hours. It is kind of insane. And yes, Micron, you're right. Alex Kingston said she is holding on to some spoilers for the 60th anniversary. Radio Times have been doing their 60 days of Doctor Who cross-promotional stuff. Doctor Who's Alex Kingston says she's holding in a, quote, big spoiler. These were Twitter-submitted questions, submitted by Matthew Vernon 3. Am I keeping any juicy spoilers right now? Yes, I am actually. I'm keeping a juicy spoiler. Yes, that will be revealed, I would imagine, later in the year. Now, this is interesting, because, and I'm not saying that they have to do this in order to fit into the continuity of Doctor Who, but when River Song first met the Doctor, in terms of the continuity of the show, chronologically, she met the 10th Doctor in Silence in the Library, and one of the first things she says in, like, the first, like, intimate moments, the interactions that they have, is, like, you look young. 1 second. Let's try and find the actual moment. This is the first time the Doctor is meeting River Song from his perspective. This is also, in TV at least, Big Finish has expanded it, the only time that this Doctor met River Song on screen.
You're young.
I'm really not, you know.
No, but you are.
Right, 2 seconds. Let's just do a dancey dance for a second. Because if I play too much footage, uninterrupted, in one go, BBC will claim me and they will sue my bum into the ground. And then, yeah, so then she looks at him and is like, oh, your eyes.
Your eyes.
Perfect impression.
You're younger than I've ever seen.
You're younger than I've ever seen you. Which makes sense because, you know, David Tennant is pretty young in terms of, like, Doctor actors. Not as young as Matt Smith, but definitely younger than Peter Capaldi, Sylvester McCoy, and, you know, etc., etc. It kind of makes sense, really doing a lot of, like, headcanon-y stuff here now. If River Song does meet the 14th Doctor, played by David Tennant, who does look like 15, 20 years younger, like, compared to the other incarnation, but played by the same actor. So, you know, that bit of headcanon could happen, could pay off. Who knows? That could even be what's happening with The Wild Blue Yonder, the second special, which takes place presumably almost entirely on sound stages and in studios, so they could hide a lot of spoilers there. Wait a minute, the specials might actually explain why River recognizes Donna. Now, to be fair, oh my god, you're right! Now, the more I thought about that, the more it made sense. The Doctor and River Song probably shared a lot of stories and memories and stuff. When does this happen in the story? Sorry, we have just I have been stunlocked in this. 1 second. One of my favourite resources for finding this stuff. Chakotaya, which does, like, transcripts. You're Donna. Here we go. Donna, you're Donna. No, but this is near the end, isn't it? Donna's doing her shouty, normal, angry thing. And then the Doctor's like, Donna, shut up. And to that, River responds with,
Donna. You're Donna. Donna Noble. Yeah.
So maybe there is some sort of an encounter here. Yeah, why? I do know the Doctor, but in his future, his personal future. So why don't you know me? Where am I in the future? And she doesn't respond. Now, at the time we could think because something bad is going to happen to Donna, who loses her memory at the end of the series and stuff. But maybe it's River Song thinking, right, how the hell do I explain the 14th Doctor to her? You know, so maybe it's actually pretty interesting in the context of just the silence in the library and her interactions with the 10th Doctor and Donna Noble, if she is in the 60th anniversary specials with those same actors.